If you're moving to Italy and someone told you that healthcare here is free, well, they're not completely wrong, but they're also not telling you the whole truth. What do I mean by that? I mean that in 2024, the Italian government changed the rules, changed the game, and now joining the SSN can cost up to 5 times what it did before 2024, up to 2,000 euros for some expats. So that's why in today's video, I want to make sure that you know whether or not you're going to have to pay this 2,000 euros, because that's a pretty penny. I want to make sure that you know your options when it comes to health insurance in Italy, whether it be the SSN, expat health insurance, international health insurance. Make sure that you can compare and choose the best option for your individual case, and also give you the exact steps you need to take in order to join whatever health insurance option is for you. But first, before we get into the nitty-gritty, hi, my name is Theo. I'm from Feather. Feather is a digital insurance company. We help people who have moved abroad figure out all things insurance, but also life abroad. So whether it be for property, casualty, or health insurance, we've got a policy for you. Great terms, strong coverage, excellent support, and that matters when you're dealing with insurance in a foreign country. On this channel, we break down all things insurance, whether it be questions about health insurance here in Italy, or whether or not you need to have life insurance when you're moving abroad. Those are the kinds of questions that we break down, but we also go beyond that for all things bureaucracy and life abroad. All right, and with that out of the way, let's get started into today's video. Italy has some of the best healthcare system in the world. In fact, if you live in the north, meaning anywhere in or above Tuscany, you're gonna get access to world-class facilities and specialists. If you live in the south, it's a little bit more debatable because there are fewer specialists and it can be more difficult to find the facility that you're requiring for your treatment. Still, overall, Italy offers wonderful public healthcare. Yet, there's a catch, because there always is with good things. And you cannot join the public system or just go to a public facility and say, hey, I want to get treated today. You first have to join the SSN, the Servizio Sanitario Nazionale, I think is how it goes. So here, what you're going to need to do is join this healthcare system in order to be eligible to receive treatment while in Italy and get it covered. It's either you join the SSN or you choose to get some sort of private health insurance or expat health insurance. In fact, expat health insurance will probably be necessary for any of you who need a visa in order to move to Italy, because in order to get any sort of visa here in Italy, you're going to need temporary health insurance while you're bridging the gap between being in Italy and getting your suitcases here and finally joining the SSN, because it can be a few hoops to jump through. Once you do want to join the SSN, that's where the price tag really stepped up since 2024, depending on your resident status. Because some residencies, like students, for example, will be able to join for free, whereas some others, like retirees, will have to pay a pretty penny. Who exactly has to pay how much? Let's get into that. There are 4 paths when it comes to getting health insurance and health coverage in Italy. The first one of those is when you're mandatorily enrolled into the SSN. What that really means is that you're going to get access to healthcare for virtually free. There are 5 groups of people who get to have free access to the SSN. Those are employees. Employees pay 0% from their payroll in order to join the SSN. 100% of the cost is borne by your employer. It comes out to about 9.2% in 2026. The next group that's eligible for free when it comes to the SSN are freelancers who are registered with Social Security. If you have a residence permit, you're freelancing and you're registered, you have access to the SSN via a mandatory enrollment, in fact. The next group is any workers or retirees with an S1 form. If you have an S1 form, you're going to be able to join the SSN for virtually for free. If you are a refugee or asylum seeker with the proper paperwork in place, then you're also going to get access to the SSN for free. And family, if you are in Italy via family reunification, and whoever it is that you're joining is already enrolled in the SSN, then you're also going to be able to enroll. And what does that mean for you? It means that you virtually get to pay €0 at the point of care whenever you go to a public facility. This gives you access to some of the world's best healthcare no matter what happens in the next 6 to 12 months. In order to do that, you're going to need to get a local health insurance card, which is called the Teresa Sanitaria, I think is how you would say that. And you're also going to need to find a local GP in order to then be referred to specialists or certain facilities. If you're not part of one of those 5 groups and you're from outside of the EU, then you're going to need to do what we call a voluntary enrollment. A voluntary enrollment is quite expensive. It can cost something like 7.5% of your worldwide income, with a minimum of 1,500 euros going up to 2,800 euros, depending on the exact components that make up your worldwide income. So for all of you elective visa holders, you're going to need to declare how much income you made last year, and then we're going to charge you, or rather the SSN is going to charge you, I'm not going to charge you anything, I promise, is going to charge you 7.5% of that income in order to join. That makes it much more expensive than the previous price, which was something like a fixed 300 euros per year, which is definitely helpful for the overall system in order to help its sustainability. But for all elective residence visa holders, it's definitely a bit of a bummer, which is why a lot of people consider alternatives to the SSN. But let me get back to that in just a minute, because one of the pros of the SSN is that it covers your dependents for free. So it can be very expensive to join. 7.5% of your income is not nothing. Yet, if it covers your dependents, you can start spreading the cost of this health insurance policy across multiple people, and it might start to make sense in those cases. Still, 7.5%, it's not cheap. So, what are more affordable alternatives for health insurance in Italy? Well, there's 2 main types of private health insurance. There would be expat health insurance, and this is something that Feather is great at. We have hundreds of customers every year who come to us for our expat health insurance. It's visa compliant for anyone who needs a health insurance in order to apply for a visa, and it provides very generous coverage for the price that you're paying. Right? You're paying something like 72 euros per month, and you're getting virtually all of the things that you would need while you're staying in Italy in case you do get sick. Where it is a little bit more lackluster is in preventative care and pre-existing conditions. So preventative care, it's definitely not one of the strong points of this policy. If you want to go get checkups regularly, then this policy is going to be leaving you hanging a little bit. And also, if you have any serious pre-existing conditions, you might want to reconsider getting an expat health insurance policy, because by default, it's a very cheap policy. 72 euros a month is not much, meaning that we have to make some sacrifices somewhere in terms of the underwriting or the calculation of how much people are going to cost us when they start using their health insurance. And so one of the ways that we can manage to keep the monthly price very low is by saying, hey, anything that you contracted before your insurance start date, we're not going to be able to cover. One of the great points about expat health insurance is that it virtually acts as a supplementary private health insurance. So in case you ever get sick, your knee starts to hurt, or anything new happens to you, you can say, okay, let me use this insurance policy as opposed to the SSN that I'm already a part of, in order to get faster access to specialists. Specialists or doctors in Italy do enjoy someone who has an insurance policy else than the SSN, because it's a lot less paperwork for them. You're gonna have to pay out of pocket, you're gonna have to pay at the doctor's office, but then your insurance reimburses you. So that definitely makes the life of doctors easier, which is why a lot of the time they're going to favor people who have a private or expat health insurance policy. Still, you have one last option in case the lack of preemptive care and the lack of pre-existing condition coverage is really a deal breaker for you, and you say, okay, I would rather pay a little bit more and get a better policy. Here, you might want to choose to look into international health insurance. International health insurance doesn't cover all pre-existing conditions. So at the end of the day, international health insurance providers like Feather or Cigna or whoever it may be have to make money, and so there are some exclusions and some risks that we can't underwrite or cover. Still, with that said, At Feather, what we do is that we do a health check with you. We ask you a few questions, and then we help make sure that you cover as many pre-existing conditions as possible, as long as it fits within our risk factors, what we call it. It's just insurance speak for hopefully, we can provide you good value for the price that you pay without necessarily, making sure that we're gonna have to cover hundreds of thousands of euros in expenditures later down the line. International health insurance is also a lot more generous when it comes to preventative care. I would advise you to check out the terms and conditions for whatever company you're advising. We'd be happy to share with you all of our preventative care measures, as well as the rest of our coverage, if you just reach out to us in the comments or via our website. And one extra benefit that you might not get with whatever expat health insurance provider you choose is that, at least with Feather's policy, you're covered even if you move outside of Italy and say you decide to spend the next 3 months in Puerto Rico, or you want to spend up to 60 days per year in the USA, then that's also covered. So that's definitely one of the benefits of international health insurance, is its portability. All right, and with that out of the way, let's tell you what you need to know about what exactly you need to do. What are your next steps? I'm not gonna leave you hanging. You're gonna know exactly what to do next. So first, if you are an EU citizen, get yourself an S1 form. You'll be able to join the SSN very easily. If you're employed, you don't even need to bother. Just double check with your employer that he's registering you to the SSN and that he's indeed paying your premiums, but you should be able to be covered for free. If you're a student, you should be able to join the SSN for 150 euros. Just contact your local registration office for additional details, but this will be pretty easy for you. If you're from outside of the EU and you're getting a visa, you need to get health insurance right now. Or, for whatever you're trying to apply for your visa. As I said, two main options, either expat health insurance for the affordability factor, or international health insurance for the coverage and portability factor. Regardless of which health insurance company you choose, I would advise Feather, but you know that. I would suggest that you double check two key items in your coverage, because they can make or break your Italian visa application. First, you need at least 30,000 euros in coverage. That's the bare minimum. And you need medical repatriation. In case something really goes wrong, we want to be able to bring you back to your home country for further care, closer to the people that you love. So that's also required as part of your visa application. You must meet these two requirements at the very least. Feather's policy meet those, but if you want to go and check out something else, at least you know what to double check. Once you have your visa, or once you've found permanent residence here in Italy, you're going to need your codice fiscale. Without it, you can't do anything else. So you need to head to the Agenzia della Entrante, which is just your local administration, and then you can get yourself some additional details on how to get a codice fiscale. Once you have your codice fiscale, it's possible for you to register for the SSN. The way that you're supposed to do that is that you head to your ASL office, which is just a health ministry office. And what you do is that you bring your residence permit, you bring your passport, you have to bring a copy of said passport, and I'm going to copy it for you. And then you also need proof of residence. And then once you have all of those documents, you're able to head to the ASL office, and you're going to be able to register for the public healthcare system in Italy. It typically takes 30 to 60 days to get the full confirmation, and once you've got that, you can decide who is going to be your general practitioner, who will then refer you to different specialists in your area. It's not because you joined the SSN that you necessarily have to cancel all of your other health insurance policies. You can choose to keep additional health insurance policies for additional healthcare benefits. Because the SSN can be sometimes a little bit stringy or not cover exactly what you need, you can choose to keep an international health insurance policy or an expat health insurance policy in addition to your public coverage in order to supplement where it can sometimes be a little bit lackluster. And with that, this is everything you need to know about health insurance and healthcare in Italy. If you have any questions, drop them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, ciao ciao!